Hi, I'm Karina, and today I'm going to talk about topper cap construction. Now, in the world of alternative hair, cap construction is one of those topics that seems so essential to understand and yet so very confusing. So, I'm going to try to simplify it as much as possible, but also give you the pertinent information regarding toppers specifically today, since the world of toppers and wigs is slightly different when talking about cap construction. So the first topper I'm going to show you today is actually the one that I have on. This is the upgraded Courtney topper by Uniwigs. This is a monotop based topper. So a monotop is essentially this area right here. A monotop is see-through, so you will be able to see through it. You will be able to see your scalp or your bio hair underneath, but it also is very lightweight. Typically, I recommend starting with a monotop or lace top topper when you're first getting started in the alternative hair world. And this is for a few reasons. The first reason is it's very lightweight compared to maybe a silk top topper. You want a lightweight topper if you're not really used to wearing something on top of your head, because it could feel a little like a helmet when you first start wearing alternative hair. For me, it was significantly more hair than I had at the moment, and it just felt very overwhelming to put a silk top topper on my head. A monotop topper, however, felt more lightweight, more breathable, and most importantly, easier to blend when you're first starting out because it is thinner. Blending that transition between your bio hair and the topper hair is much easier when it's a thinner base. So for that reason, I recommend starting out with a monotop or lace top topper. The upgraded Courtney is of course one of my favorites, so I tend to recommend that to a lot of people because I feel like it looks good on so many different people. So once again, this is the monotop area. It is slightly see-through. Now this right here, you're seeing that it's been sewn. What this is called wefting. Wefting is essentially hair that is sewn together to make up the body of the topper. What this does is it's going to add more hair to the back of the topper to give you more length, more volume, and just a little bit more fullness. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at toppers. Wefting is this kind of sewn area. Monotop is this area right here. When you are parting your topper, you can part it anywhere in the monotop area. Some toppers have a very slim monotop area, so you can only part it. Let's say maybe it only has a space that's about yay big to part your topper. Others have much larger spaces. So be sure to pay attention to how much space the monotop takes up on the topper so that you know how much room you're going to have to be able to part your topper. Now this next topper I want to show you has both a monotop and a lace front. So lace tends to be a little bit more transparent than a monotop area, but it is also a little bit more delicate. So oftentimes you might find a combination between a monotop and a lace front. Lace front for the transparency so that you can wear it all the way to the front of your hairline. Now, unlike the upgraded Courtney that I just showed you, the upgraded Courtney is meant to go slightly behind your hairline, meaning your hair, your bio hair, should a little bit stick out in front. Now, the extended lace front is meant to go all the way to the front of your hairline, meaning that you can wear the lace all the way in front of your hairline. This just depends on what your hairline is looking like. If your hairline is starting to recede slightly, you may want to consider something with an extended lace front. With my hair, I tend to have these weird wiry baby hairs right out in front. So an upgraded Courtney topper that has a closed front, meaning it's meant to be worn slightly behind my hairline, is a better option for me. It helps with blending the overall look and just not having to glue down the lace in the front. So just some things to think about. Once again, this one is an extended lace front with a mono top. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you very quickly, so if you have questions, be sure to ask below. I'm not done yet, but I just want to kind of give you that forewarning. You can always go back and rewatch or ask questions to clarify. Now, I did loan out my lace top topper, so I don't have one to show you at the moment, but a lace top is going to be very similar to that extended lace front that I just showed you. You're just going to have this entire area that's made out of lace instead of monotop, meaning it's just going to be more see-through, a little bit more transparent, and a little bit more delicate and lightweight. So that's kind of the main difference between the monotop and a lace top. Essentially, they're not so different, just the lace top is going to be more delicate and easier to blend, more transparent. Moving on, I would like to show you a silk top topper. Now this is going to be significantly thicker right in front than that upgraded Courtney that I showed you, because this has an ultra realistic looking scalp. So if anybody were to get really up close in your personal space, they're going to look at the scalp and it's going to look just like your BioHair scalp would look. Very, very realistic looking. However, because it is thicker, it is a little bit more difficult to blend. So once again, I tend to recommend this type of top for somebody that has had some experience blending their topper in the past, or at least has someone there to help them practice it and figure out how to do it. Now, if you're just doing this on your own for the first time, you don't have a stylist you can take your topper to, my recommendation would be to start out with a monotop or lace top topper. So the silk top topper, like we said, ultra realistic, a little bit thicker, a little bit harder to blend. Now this particular topper has that silk top all the way in this area. Once again, that means that you can move the part line anywhere in this area. It also has that wefting that we talked about. Now this is a really cool topper because it takes that silk top, that realistic looking silk top, but combines it with a fully hand-tied area. So that means it's gonna give it a really nice natural lift, and you don't have to worry about it lying super flat on your head. I like that for several reasons. One, I just think it gives it a more natural, realistic looking kind of hair look to you, but also it helps when blending your topper if the topper has been hand-tied and has that really nice lift throughout. So the whole area, this whole area has been hand-tied and is that natural looking silk base. When an entire topper is fully hand-tied, that allows you the freedom to move the part line anywhere on the topper that you want. There's no constraints besides the fact that it might just look weird if your part is like way off to the side. But if you wanted to do that, you could do it. So this is a really nice option. Now this is a little bit of a smaller base, and because it does not have the wefting, it's not going to be as much hair as say the upgraded Courtney topper. This is a decent amount of hair compared to this one right here. This is a Silk Essence by Uniwigs. They're all by Uniwigs right now. So this is the Silk Essence and this is the upgraded Courtney. And as you can see, the upgraded Courtney does have significantly more hair, and that is because it does have the wefting area that allows for more hair to be sewn into the topper. So that's kind of an overview of different cap constructions. Now I'm going to quickly retouch on key points so that we're all on the same page. There are a few things to consider when you're trying to figure out what cap construction works best for you. The first thing is, how new are you to toppers? If you're very new to toppers and you do not have anyone to help kind of show you the ropes in person, my suggestion would be to start off with a lace top or monotop topper. Then as you progress, then try out the silk top toppers or a skin top topper. Those are both really great options as you get used to blending your topper. The other thing to consider is the size of the topper base. Now the upgraded Courtney has that 5x7 base, so it gives you a decent amount of hair, but it also has the wefting sewn in. So you need to figure out for you whether you want wefting or no wefting. Wefting is going to allow for more hair, which is going to be easier to blend with your BioHair, especially in the back, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you just really don't see my BioHair with this topper on because it has a decent sized base and because it has the wefting that allows for extra hair. So the other thing you want to consider is how large of an area you want that monotop, silk top, or skin top area to be. Do you want a fully hand-tied area where the entire thing is made up of hand-tied hairs? Or do you want to add a little bit of wefting to it like you would see in this topper? So there are definitely a lot of things to consider, but once you start understanding the terminology, you can quickly decide what may or may not be right for you. The last little thing I would suggest when deciding on what size topper to get is probably assume you're going to need a larger base than you think you need. For example, I'll go ahead and take off my topper. And you can see that I have several scars on the top of my head. Initially, I thought I would benefit from having a topper that really just covered this top section of my head. However, once I started trying toppers on, I quickly realized that covering that little section doesn't do a whole lot for my blend down here. So you don't want to think about just the hair on the top of your head or the area you want to hide, but how it's going to blend and how it's going to look all over on your head. Getting a little section like that may not blend well. Getting a larger section allows for more hair, more blendability, and you can always thin out your topper, add layers, add bangs to help make it look and feel like you. If you have any questions, like I said, be sure to comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with some help. You can also follow me on Instagram if you would prefer to directly message me. I am totally okay with that. You can find my Instagram handle on my YouTube page, and please subscribe for more wig and topper tips and content.